What's up YouTube, and welcome to the Anabolic Outpost. In this edition we will be making anabolic apple pancakes. If you've had my banana pancake or any of my other pancake recipes, I'm sure you will enjoy this one just as much. It has quite a few unique ingredients, but they all come together to make delicious apple pancakes that are both high in protein and far lower in calorie than your standard pancake box mix. And this pancake recipe is also great for meal prep, whether you just want to prep the batter and cook them later in the week, or you could just cook them all at the beginning of the week and have breakfast for every single day of the week. And whichever one you do is obviously going to be a huge time saver, which is another reason why I like this recipe a lot. Not to mention the variety of ingredients from all different sorts of food, which is also great to incorporate in your diet, which is variety. And speaking of those ingredients, let me just quickly show you what you will need to make this recipe. The first ingredient will be apples, and you'll probably need about 2 medium-sized apples. Next ingredient will be egg whites, whole eggs, oats, it doesn't matter what type, it could even be oat flour, fat-free cottage cheese, xanthan gum, which is extremely important to make these pancakes fluffy, baking powder, cinnamon, and you will also need some form of sweetener. I'm going to be using sucralose. To make this pancake batter, we're going to be blending the ingredients up. First off, we're going to be blending in the dry ingredients, and I'm going to be adding in 55 grams of oats. Not only will it help convert the oats to oat flour, but it will also help evenly mix in the xanthan gum and the baking powder, which is important to be mixed before the wet ingredients go in. The next ingredient is going to be the xanthan gum, and I'm adding in 3 grams of that. And like I was talking earlier, this is an important ingredient as it helps the pancakes rise, and it's also important that it is pre-mixed with the dry ingredients before the wet ingredients go in. Next, I'm going to add in 2 grams of my sucralose sweetener, and obviously if you have a different sweetener, you'll just have to make the adjustment to see how much you could add, but it's probably going to be around 2 grams or a small pinch anyway. I'm now going to throw in a sprinkle of baking powder measuring out to 3 grams. And lastly, I'm going to add in 2 grams of cinnamon. And that is it for the dry ingredients, so you could go ahead and blend this together. We are now moving on to the wet ingredients, starting off with the eggs and the eggs whites. And as always with my recipes, I like to add whole eggs in there for a variety of different reasons. But if you're really strict on your calories, you could just add in 400 grams of egg whites. But if you're making it like I am, I add 300 grams of egg whites in and 2 whole eggs. And I'm cracking the 2 whole eggs in right now. And then, of course, I'm going to go ahead and pour in my 300 grams of egg whites. I'm now going to add in 105 grams of cottage cheese, and this is a weird ingredient to be adding in with pancakes, and honestly it really doesn't add or take away anything from the recipe, but of course it's going to give you more volume and more protein, so you really can't go wrong with that, and this recipe is also a great way to get it cleared out of your fridge when you're trying to clear it out or it's close to expiring. I'm now going to go ahead and add in my apples, and like I did say earlier, you're going to need about 2 medium-sized apples. And you could just kind of cut as you go like I'm doing, but in total you're going to need 300 grams of apple. All the ingredients are now in there, so we could go ahead and blend this up. And with this batter, you could make it right away, but it is a bit runny, so the best thing to do is let it sit in the fridge. 15 minutes is going to make a huge difference, but closer to 2 hours is going to be most optimal. If you did decide to meal prep this by making the batter earlier in the week, it is much advantageous because later in the week your batter is going to be extremely thick and you'll have much better pancakes. And this is what my batter is now looking like after it sat in the fridge for 2 hours. It's far thicker and you will see it is extremely similar to regular pancake batter. You're definitely going to want to preheat your pan on low to medium heat before you put the pancake batter on, and then you could go ahead and spray it with cooking spray. My pan is now preheated, so I'm going to go ahead and pour the batter on, and I have this flat top pan here that you probably see in most of my videos, and it's the perfect size to just make 4 medium-sized pancakes. And depending on what size pan you have, you could just adjust the recipe as is. And as with all of my kitchen supplies, if you did want one of these flat top pans, they are linked under my Amazon affiliate links in the description below. It's extremely helpful for cooking a variety of different things, and if you pick up a couple of them, you could meal prep far faster, or in this case, cook up some turkey bacon with your apple cinnamon pancakes. I've now got all 4 of my pancakes on, and it's extremely important not to touch these for at least 8 minutes. The batter is a little bit runny, as you can see here, and they are extremely thick, so they really don't get structure until that time, and if you do touch them earlier than that, you're probably going to end up ruining it. I say that even though I've done that all the time, and there is no ruining it. You could always revive it if you think you have. And I did kind of make a mistake scraping all of the batter out instead of just making a 5th pancake. And they're kind of running into each other, but you could always revive it. As you can see here, I'm struggling and the batter's going all over the place. There's no rule that says that you can't flip it 5 or 6 times, so just keep flipping it over and over again until there's no liquid batter as far as you could see. I'm now going to go for another flip on each of these pancakes, and as you can see, much smoother than last time, and they're starting to look more and more like pancakes and having more and more structure. So just have some patience with these and they'll eventually start to develop their structure. I have flipped them a couple more times now, and you can see that golden crispy layer on the outside, and that's how you know that these are done, so I can now transfer them to this plate to serve. It is very important though that you are cooking these on a low to medium heat, because if you're cooking any higher, the inside is still going to be wet and spongy, and you don't want that, so really the lower the better to ensure that these are thoroughly cooked. There they are. You can see my beautiful stack of Anabolic apple cinnamon pancakes. Usually pair these with some sausage, or in this case some turkey bacon, and that is really what a typical breakfast looks like for me. I like to eat a variety of different foods, and this recipe accomplishes just that. It's hard to believe that you could accomplish all that with just pancakes. And like you would with any other pancakes, you don't have to compromise with no syrup. You could just go ahead and add this sugar-free syrup by Miss Buttersworth or whatever brand you could get your hands on. It's gonna be like 5 calories per 2 tablespoons, which is like nothing compared to your Aunt Jemima style syrups, where most people could be smothering their pancakes with that and be adding an extra 300 to 400 calories just with the overdose of sugar that they're pouring on their pancakes. With this stuff, it's such a relieving feeling to know that you are adding little to no calories to your breakfast. I add this stuff on anything that seems right, and even further than that sometimes. Anyway, let me go ahead and cover the macros for you guys. This pancake recipe in total is going to have 67 grams of protein with 48 grams of carbs, only 14 grams of fat for a total of 615 calories. It's a great feeling to get ahead with your protein early in the day. And with 76 grams of protein, you could walk away from this breakfast feeling great. That is all I have for you today though. If you did have any questions or any comments about this recipe, please comment them down below and I will get back to you as soon as possible. Other than that, if you found this recipe tutorial both helpful and delicious, be sure to leave a like and subscribe. And if you want to support the channel, consider clicking on my Patreon or any of the other links that are in the description down below. They all are going to help the channel. Other than that though, thank you for watching and I will see you in the next video.